Welcome to week 5. This week you're going to start developing your own research. Over the past few weeks, we've given you lots of information about the different topics you can research, as well as some weird and wonderful real-life examples. Now it's your turn to bring that research to life, because this week's task is to do your own research project. Step 1 in doing your research is coming up with a question that you would like to know the answer to. Think back to all of the work we've done over the last 4 weeks. Which week was your favourite? Did any of the research questions we've looked at already interest you? Pause the video now to come up with the question that you would like to research. Make sure it's something you have the materials to study. There are some example questions on pages 13, 14 and 15 of your workbook, and there's a space to plan your own research on page 16 of your workbook. Excellent! Now that you have your research question, it's time to do some background research. Think about what information you need to carry out the research you want to do. Write a list of at least 5 questions that you want to ask before you start your research. Pause the video now to write down your questions and spend some time trying to answer them. Make sure you make a note of where you find the answers. Well done for taking your first steps into research. Now it's time to use what you know to make a hypothesis. When researchers come up with a question, they make what's called a hypothesis. This is a prediction or a guess about what the answer to that question might be. Pause the video now to make a prediction or hypothesis about what the answer to your question might be. Remember, it doesn't matter at all whether it's right or wrong. Now that we know exactly what it is we're researching, it's time to plan how we're going to go about doing it. Before doing your research, you need to think about things like what equipment you need. If you're going to do an experiment, how many times will you do it? How will you make sure your experiment is the same every time? How will you measure your research? Think of your planning like a recipe or instructions for what to do. Pause the video now to plan out your own research. Remember to use the examples on page 13, 14 and 15 to help you. It might feel like we've already spent a long time on your research by now, but the best part is still to come: collecting your data. Data is the word that researchers use for the results of their research. You'll probably need some sort of table to record these in, and it's a good idea to have a table ready before you start. Don't forget to leave some extra room in case you discover something you weren't expecting. Pause the video now to draw out your results table and to collect your data. That's it for this week. Next week we're going to help you analyse all of the data you've collected and then show you how to present it to the rest of the world. The Big Exploration. Become independently curious.